we started Hammers Chat and we had guests on, we only ever had one rule for them. Be honest. If it's negative, be negative. If it's positive, be positive. It doesn't really matter what the tone is, as long as you're honest. As long as it's your honest opinion, it's all we ask for. So we're never negative for the sake of being negative. If you feel like we are, it's not. It's just because that's our honest opinion at the time. But likewise, I cannot ever be positive for the sake of being positive. I don't want to sit here and pretend I'm happy with stuff when I'm not really. You'll always just get my honest opinion. Now, last night when we did the review, I was aware that everything we were talking about had a negative tone to it. We just won 3-2. We've just got 3 points in the group stage, 2 wins out of 2, 6 points on the board, 100% record so far. Happy days. You know, we're a couple of wins away out the next 4 games in the group stage. Win 2 of them, we'll make it through to the knockouts. We'll get a draw in there as well. We're pretty much guaranteed top spot in the group. Happy days. So I feel like we should have been positive. I feel like we should have been happy. Now, don't get me wrong. I was happy we won. I say happy. I was more relieved that we won because I felt that we got off with it a little bit. And there was some positives from the game. Skamaka's goal was fantastically well taken. Pure power. Absolute rocket. What we want to see. The build-up to the corner that led to Dawson's goal. That one-touch football. That little flick from Paqueta. Champagne football for that 30 seconds. There was positives. There was a handful of positive performances in there. But I felt that the negatives far outweighed the positives for me. But anyway, once I said goodbye to Gonds, I started listening to another West Ham YouTube channel, and they were saying similar things to me, which almost reassures me a little bit that actually, don't worry, you weren't being over the top or anything, because they are seeing the game through the same view as you did. And then this morning I woke up and I started questioning myself, was I being a bit harsh last night? Should I have been more positive? But then I found myself quite grumpy this morning, actually, thinking about the result again. My opinion hasn't really changed. I've watched the highlights back rather than the full game. I've watched the highlights back this morning. My opinion remains the same. We got off with it. We were lucky. So anyway, I loaded up the computer to start work and started reading the comments of the review last night. And there was obviously a couple of people that said, we've won. What do you expect this early on in the season kind of thing? And that's fair. I like that alternative opinion to me, because sometimes I'll read people's comments and it alters my opinion a little bit. I think that's a good point. I see things differently. But by and large, most had similar opinions to myself and Gonzo, which was, we got off with it. We did not play well. This was wrong, that was wrong. Now, what we all picked out as being not great last night might differ, but by and large, it was almost a bit of a negative vibe. We just won. We should be positive. Now, when I say should be, I'm not saying you have to be. I'm not saying that you're wrong to be negative. Clearly, I say should be, as in, we've won. We should be happy. Happy days, right? But not really. Because, like I said, this morning, I'm much calmer. The emotion's gone. This is an emotionless video. Although I'll probably get emotional during the video. I'll probably get myself worked up a little bit. I am guilty of that at times. But I wasn't even going to do this video, but I thought, do you know something? I want to have a little mini rant, really. I want to get my views out there. So here we go. Let's talk about it last night. But the first thing I'm going to discuss is this formation. We got told in the summer that Moyes, for whatever reason, was inclined to switch to a back three this season. He wanted to go to a back three. Now, in pre-season, we were mainly playing a back four. Then we switched to a back three. When the season kicked off, again, back four. And it was a bit like, well, is it? However, I do feel in the last few games we're really starting to see that Moyes' desire to switch to this three at the back is possibly true. The reports are probably true from the summer, going by how we're lining up more often than not. And I have to say, initially I was open to it. I thought, okay, well, let's see, because we've had success in the past. We have played well in the past with three at the back. Final's playing this left wing back role last season on a couple of games. It worked. A couple of games I thought it was really poor. But we had the summer transfer window to bring in players. We had 180 million to bring in players. And looking back last night, this morning, this formation is really starting to bug me a little bit because I don't really think we've got it down to a T yet. So fine, we're only a handful of games into the season. Let's give it time, shall we? But we've just had a week on the training pitch because of the postponement of the Newcastle game last weekend. We're never going to have longer on the training pitch this season. We'll be very fortunate to have that long on the training ground with all players available. Now, I know we've got like a mini pre-season coming up with the World Cup, but handful of our most important players will be at the World Cup. They won't be there. And we can't wait until the World Cup before we think, okay, let's train this new formation. Let's get this new formation solid. We can't wait till then. Got the international break coming up again. A lot of the players are missing. So this week we've just had between the FCSB game and last night's game, that week was a long a period as David Moyes is going to get. Looking at the fixtures in October, we're barely going to get near the training pitch, and when we are, it's going to have to be scaled down quite a bit because of all the game and the demands on the players. So that was the best time we're going to have, Moyes is going to have with the players. And the evidence last night would suggest, well, I'm not too keen on the formation, but this is my belief, and it's only my belief. I'm not saying I'm right, this is my opinion. But when you play with wing-backs, I've always felt that the wing-backs are possibly the most important players in your team, because when you're going forward, they've got to get up the pitch. They've got to provide the width, whether it's crossing or whether it's just an option to get the ball out wide and play it back. You know, Manchester City will play wide, but they don't necessarily keep swinging the ball in. It's just to stretch the pitch, stretch the opposition, so then you can move the ball about quickly. That is the demands of the wing-back. But defensively, as soon as we're out of possession, you've got to get back and almost become full-backs. The amount of energy to play wing-backs is incredible. Can you tell I played wing-back when I was younger for a few seasons? But the amount of energy is just ridiculous that's required. But it's a hard role to master because it's very easy to get it wrong. It's very easy to be out of position, whether it's going forward or defensively. At times we all attack and Emerson may not join in the attack. He may judge it and think I'm not getting involved here, and we will need him. Likewise, defensively, he might get caught out of position. He might go forward when he shouldn't, and then he's 20 yards out. It's a hard role. But look at our wing-backs last night, and this is our first choice wing-backs as we speak. Fornals is debatable. We'll get on to that. Emerson and Soufal. They're not good enough. Soufal's never really impressed me at wing-back, and I go back to the first season he was here when he was really, really good. He was much better in a back four than he was in that wing-back role because the demands of sort of your productivity in the final third. Now that season he was brilliant. He was racking up all the assists. But recently he's been poor. He's the one player. Now we're starting 11 last night and probably this Sunday. He's the one player that's bang out of form, and he's probably fortunate to be in the team because there's no alternatives right now. Now, I think there is an alternative. I'm going to discuss that in the preview with Gonzo when we do the Everton game later on today. But right now, he's the only option. I get why Moyes has played him there. But he's not a wing-back. He doesn't look very comfortable in position. He's not providing much from that position either. And then the question would be, well, if you've had 180 million to spend and you want to play wing-backs, if that is his plan A for the season, why have you not invested a lot of that money into that position? You look at what Chelsea are spending on there. Now, I know they're a bit of a shambles at the minute, but their left wing-back options is a 60 million Cucurella and a 50 million Ben Chilwell. On the right, they've got one of the best in the world at it in Reece James. That's the standard that you've got to get to. You want to play wing-backs. And there was options out there. There were wing-backs that were on the move this summer, but we didn't go for any. Now I know we went and got Emerson, but like I said, 13 million is hardly a substantial investment into that position in the squad. I don't need to tell you who was more expensive that we brought in, but Aguerd, Scamacca, Paqueta, all those players were more expensive than the wing-back role. And then what do we do with Paqueta? Where does Paqueta play in this formation? It can't really be where he played last night. It was completely ineffective. I don't like it. I do not like this formation yet. Now, obviously, the phrase transition is the one that's going to get bandied about a lot, isn't it? That phrase, and I'm a little bit worried that it's going to become a bit of an excuse for sort of papering over the cracks a little bit. We weren't good, yeah, but you know, we're in transition. You've got to give it time. But how long do you give it? Like I said, we've just had the longest period on the training pitch we're going to have. So is it game time we need? Fine. But again, how much game time do we give it? If we don't win on Sunday, I mean, we're not in a great position, are we? Obviously, if we win on Sunday, happy days. You know, we go into the international break, everything's a little bit rosier. But I guess what I'm trying to say badly is I'm a bit suspicious if this formation will work. I hope it does. I kind of see why he's doing it, but the evidence on the pitch would suggest it's not really working that well just yet. And last night, I don't think it worked at all. We were completely overrunning midfield. And I think other Premier League clubs will take advantage. Everton recently have been playing with a much more narrow 4-3-3. That's the width that comes from Anthony Gordon and Andre Gray out wide. But in the middle, they're generally quite compact with Onana, Iwobi and Davies. Now, they may switch up the personnel in there, but I think the shape would stay the same. We're heading into Goodison Park possibly with the same problem, which is, Rice and Souček are going to get outnumbered in the centre of the pitch now. And it's not great. Anyway, before I continue moaning, this video is sponsorless because I want to point in the direction of our online store, hammerschatstore.com, for 2 products in particular. The first one, this player ratings notebook. It won't be for everybody. We designed it so that we can literally do what it says, keep track of your player ratings on a game by game. We obviously have our player rating series over on Patreon. Then at the end of it, every month we do like a monthly review using the player ratings. So get involved if you want. And secondly, if you've got, if your kids are into football, or you're trying to get them into West Ham a little bit more, we're hoping that this could be a bit of an education tool. Get your kid one of these, get them to write down the players, get them to write down their player rating, and just have a discussion with them about why they're giving each player that rating. And hopefully you can educate them a little bit on the tactics of the game. Don't use my tactics, don't use my analysis, do your own please. So that's that one. I also ordered too many. We've got loads to sell. I've got about 40 on the shelf. I need them gone. We've reduced them to cost price. They cost us £4 each to make. We're selling them at £4 each to make. So you fancy grabbing one, the link is in the description below. But also, for other reasons, is our beer mats. We made these beer mats. You get 10 in the pack, West Ham Legends and Cult Heroes. There is the example. So on one side, you've got a beer design, an original beer design by Canning Town Len. There you've got Booking, Vazte and Dix. And on the other side, different players obviously, is paintings, images of paintings which Canning Town Len has done. So there you go, you've got Moore, Ginger Pelly, Bonds and Ludo hiding at the end there. If you fancy grabbing a pack of them, head over to hammerschatstore.com, link in description and the pinned comments. Back to me complaining, shall we? The subs last night was just baffling. I still can't get over it. I still cannot get over it. Last week, he did the subs at halftime, changed the game. Well done, Moyes. Full credit. Deserved the credit last night. At the start of last week, deserved it. Last night, it is actually concerning. It is actually quite worrying that, we were 3-1 up. We should have been comfortable. We weren't looking comfortable. I thought we were looking okay in the second half. Thought we were keeping them at arm's length. They were having the ball, but they weren't really creating too much. I felt like we were just slowing the tempo down a little bit. And then we did the subs. And then Rice made way for Thomas Souček, and then he also took off Skamaka, put on, Bowen, and then Ben Rama for Paqueta. And I thought we just completely lost any control that we had. And when I say control, I use that loosely. But we just got worse and worse. And they were all over us. And we massively got away with it last night. Now, like I said, I feel like I should be positive. The sign of a good team is one that wins when they don't play well. I mentioned it last week. Maybe, that's the phrase. Maybe we do have to apply it to West Ham. But I can't help but think last night, their second goal should have stood. It should have went 2-2. It was, on their behalf, a disgrace of a decision that goal stood. We massively got away with that. And then if we played for another 10 minutes last night, I feel like they would have equalised. It felt like a goal was coming. It was just a case of, can we see it through to full time? Now, when I've listened to the interviews from David Moyes after the game, as well as the player and manager from Silkeborg, and the manager basically said they're better than us. Player for player, we did all we could. He's not wrong. Again, the player himself said they're better than us. We're playing some superstars. That is what we are in comparison to them. I heard Moyes say that the attacking players were a little bit greedy and that we should have been playing each other in. So Ben Rama, Cornet and Bowen, I think he's talking about you three because don't know who else it could be. And then he basically said about the substitutions, as I got asked, the subs got mentioned. But the question was very much, look at the talent you had to bring on. And Moyes basically said, if only they could play to the levels of the players that took off the pitch. So he's clearly not happy with the performance of Bowen, Ben Rama and possibly Souček as well. It's difficult to gauge because, like I said, there was 2 digs at the attacking players there, but only 1 at the substitutions in general. But it's hard to disagree with him. It is hard. I thought attacking, we were very disjointed. That three when they were on the pitch second half last night. But anyway, I'm going to shut up because I feel bad. I almost wanted to have a little bit of a rant. The formation, I am just incredibly unconvinced by at this point. I think we're going to stick with it, and I almost feel like to some extent he has to. Moyes, he's going to nail his colours to the mast, and that's the way he wants to go. That's the way he wants to go. But he's going to have to start getting results soon, I think. Otherwise, the pressure is going to increase, and I can already feel the pressure increasing from people in the comments and the live chat and stuff. I'm aware that there's some that are sort of on a trolling aspect, if you like, so trying to ignore those ones. But there's people that comment that have been commenting for years on Hammers Chat that I recognise their names and stuff, and you know, they give credit where credit's due, and then they're negative where they're supposed to be negative. They give an honest opinion, and I can see some of those people as well questioning Moyes. And there was a couple people last night saying that that's the game that's done it for them. They've now sort of gone off Moyes after last night's performance, and I find it hard to sort of. I don't mind a debate in the comment section as long as they're sort of respectful and it's a debate and not a slagging match. And I find it hard to go back to them with a counter argument at the minute. Sunday is a huge game. It's funny, isn't it? We won last night. It should take the pressure off. I know it's a different competition, but like I said, I should have woke up today, spring in my step, bring on Sunday. I don't feel like that though. I've woke up a bit, got away with that Sunday. I feel like the game just got tougher on Sunday for some reason. I think it's just my lack of trust in getting the formation right. And then the substitutions, I don't know. I'm not sort of, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Convinced. I'm not convinced at this present time. Got away with it yesterday. The Premier League tends to be a bit more unforgiving than the teams that we've come up against so far in the Conference League as well. So anyway, apologies for being a negative Nelly. Hopefully when we do the preview later, we'll be a bit more upbeat, positive, predicting West Ham wins. Maybe. But if you don't mind helping us out, if you don't mind checking out the store, please do. There's loads of other stuff on there as well. But in particular, I wanted to promote those two things. Like I said, I need rid of those player ratings book and the beer mats. Well, we've tried to create this year's must-have gift for West Ham fans at Christmas, and I think we've done a good job, if I do say so myself. You get 10 in the set, so go ahead over there. But if you've somehow enjoyed this video, drop a like on and subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat as always. But get involved in the comment section as well, please. Give me your honest thoughts. If they're negative, they're negative. If they're positive, they're positive. I don't really care about the tone of your comments, as long as, like I said, calm, respectful and honest, and give me your reasoning as well where you're at, because I think at the minute everybody has different opinions and I like it. Do you know we did a video about, is Declan Rice a good player? I mean, that's just pointless, isn't it? The comments are all going to say the same. But when there's a topic where I feel people's opinions will vary, some will be Moyes out, some will be Moyes in, new deal. I think they'll be a bit quieter though, and everybody in between. So that's why I'm looking forward to the comment section of this video. But I'm going to go now. I'm blabbering. I apologise. I'll catch you later with Everton preview.